Oh.
So Christine understands how important this is. So you save the article that you're in, and you get a blank screen, and you can fill out your next article, which is a really big workflow improvement. Right, Susan?
Yes.
Yes.
And there are minor little things like here, this used to be your apply.
It's now called save.
And that's
now called
save.
save. And that's a little bit more like, you know, a lot of the web applications do that. The save just means, I'm just going to save, but I'm not going to take you anywhere. You know, like you're in Excel or in Word, you do a save, there's nothing in your close program. You just want to make sure you're saving it.
Yeah.
So they went to that as using that. Just save. The old save was a save and close.
Right.
Yeah.
So now the save is actually save and close. And of course the save, and you save as a copy.
Ooh, tell them about having two people in the same article now and the saving copy. It was in your article.
It was?
Well, like when you're working with a client, if you, over the phone or something, and a client is going into the article, well, we can't be in the article at the same time.
Oh, you talked about that in class.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, even though if they're working in the article, I can still go in and look at it. I can't do anything if there's the first one in.
Okay.
But I can hit save as a copy and take that article. So while they were working in the original, if for some reason I said, well, I want to do my revisions because we're having a fight or something, I can save that copy and make my own edits to it. So that way somebody's not locking up an article, someone else is locking up an article.
So what's nice there, if you and I are talking over the phone in 1.5, you are looking at an article, but I can't see what you're looking at. In 1.6, we can both look at the same thing at the same time. That's what Gwen's talking about. She's great for tech support. Really good for tech support.
Can you see any changes in real time?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
And there's actually some debate on that.
Oh, about how well that works? Andrew Eddy said it. It must be true. He's the lead developer on Zoom. I don't.
The other problem is if you get two people in there at the same time, whoever saves last wins.
That's right. We talked about that in class too, didn't we? Yeah.
So it's not like second person in has inquiry. It's just.
It's a read only.
It is a read only?
It's a read only.
So if the second person is
Okay,
read only.
so most is a read only, but there's some issues.
Yeah,
that wasn't
then there
showing
should
up as read only.
Well that's a bug. But it's supposed to be read only.
How's the editor compared to 1.5?
The editor is the newest version of the Tiny Mice, which means it's a little better.
But not much. Well, wait for
you've also got the ancient. I mean, if you're using this, what you would want to do is go in and change it. There's 3 different versions of Tiny MCI in here, and as you get to the more advanced versions, they have more things that you can do, such as the words, being able to scan from Word and some of that. But it doesn't come out of the box it doesn't come up configured that way. You would go into the editor itself, into the configurations for the editor, which is a plug-in, and actually change that.
And the JCE editor hasn't caught up to 1.6 yet?
Not yet. It's only been less than 2 weeks. So give the JCE guys some time. Why don't you talk about this article permissions down here at the bottom, Andy?
Okay.
Oh my God! Look at this thing. We don't have this in 1.5.
Wow, nice. And right now, this is there's sort of three areas.
I love it.
Yeah. There's kind of 3 areas where you get to do this. You can set something up for the entire site. You can set something up at the component level. And for articles and categories, you can set something up at the actual article or the category level. And what these are is right now you see you've got your familiar public manager, administrator, register, blah, blah, blah. Down here, what's the shop supplies, customer group? Super users is the new name for the super admin. And what it is you can create your own.
That's what I was wondering. Exactly, it makes sense.
You can create your own. And what you would then do is you would assign them, like go into somebody different. They're all here. Okay. So you can see over here, This is giving what you're allowed to do on this particular article if you are a publisher. And here, you're just inheriting from somewhere else, so nothing special. But you're not allowed to delete it because you're a publisher. Publishers can't delete it. But you can edit it, and you can edit the state. And the state means, is it published, is it trashed, is it, that kind of thing. It's set to start publishing a certain time. And what you can do is, over here, this is not allowed, but on this particular one, you want to allow publishers to be able to delete it if you want to. Sort of weird, but you just click in here, and instead of being inherited, you say you want to allow it. So that's basically how that works.
The permission system is very large and very, very, very complicated.
Yeah. It looks similar to SharePoint.
Very in-depth,
Yeah, that's very
Well, which is a wonderful thing if you have a very large group of people.
right.
And you need to have, dozens of people editing your website. It's nice to be able to say, you can do one thing, and you can do something else, and you can do a third thing. On the websites that we're building in web apps, how many people will be editing your site? One, maybe two, right? You and the client, okay? Do you need this level of complication? Probably not, because if you didn't do it, who did? Right? Not that hard to figure out, okay?
Is that for a particular article?
This particular article, it's just, close out just for a second. You see here we're in the article manager, and you've got this thing called options. So this is where you're in the component itself, article. And right over here you've got the permissions tab. And you see you've got the exact same thing, except here it's actually got a few more things. Here's your delete, edit, and edit state. But you can also do like an edit own that you can set up for this component to say anybody who creates an article can go back in and create it. Go back and edit it. And if you've done 1.5 before, you may have come across the issue of if you're an author on the front end doing something, once you hit that button and say, I'm done, you can't go back in and make changes to it, or your users can't go back in and make changes to it. And so there are a lot of times, even front end or back end, when you want people who create content to be able to go back in and edit their own content. Don't want them touching anybody else's, but you want them to have control over their own. And that's what the edit own is for. You can also, on different ones, this is just access the component at all. Can anybody even get to this? Like you may have some that you don't want anybody to touch your web links or some other third-party thing that you have in there, some thing at all. And that's how you would just keep it on.
That's so cool.
Or they might be able to get in, but you don't want them to be able to make configurations at the higher level.
Yep.
So in 1.5, a front-end author,
You have to be an editor to be able to do that. And once you're an editor, you can edit anybody's article, not just your own. So in
It's a much more stripped down system in 1.5.
So in 1.5, you have the choice of either add only, no edit, or edit everybody. And that's a big gap that people have found, and it's a big jump to be able to make. And then what you have, so this is at the component level, you saw it in the article, here's the component level, and if you cancel out this one, then you've got it set up globally, under your global configuration, you've got the same permission tab. And you can see that now they've added a bunch more stuff to it, it's even longer. You can decide who can log into your site and who can log into your back end. It's not, you don't just have administrators being able to go into the back end, you can decide specifically what groups can go in and do that.
Very complicated. Possible to completely lock yourself out of your website.
In fact, they've done a back door where you can put something into your, type something into your configuration.php to get yourself back in.
So, All right, let's show one more thing, and then we should have cake because everybody has to go to class. Like, you have to teach at 1, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.